Hello, you're watching VNA News Bulletin. I'm Manga from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual. Lao Vice President Kham Phan visits Vietnam. Vietnam export 2.65 million tons of rice in first half of 2016. Photos of EC displayed in the Republic of Korea. On July 11th, Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng received a delegation from the Communist Party of Greece, who is on a visit to Vietnam. At the reception, General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng affirmed that the Communist Party of Vietnam wishes to maintain an enhanced relationship with its Greek counterpart. He suggested that the two sides join hands with each other to seek specific cooperation areas in order to deepen the relations in a more pragmatic fashion. The host called on the Communist Party of Greece to encourage the Greek authorities and parliament to raise their voice for settling disputes in the EC by peaceful measures and in line with the law, especially the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. For his part, Secretary-General of the Communist Party of Greece, Dimitris Kouzoumas, stressed the need to respect national sovereignty and territorial integrity of each country, while affirming Greece's support for the settlement of disputes in the EC peacefully and multilaterally, and in accordance with international law. He said, the Communist Party of Greece always attaches importance to the judicial relations and solidarity with the Communist Party of Vietnam, and hopes to advance relations between two parties, countries and peoples in the time ahead. Standing member of the Secretariat of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party Central Committee, State Vice President Phan Kham Phan is paying official visit to Vietnam. This is his first overseas trip after being elected to the post for the 2016 to 2020 tenure. While in Vietnam, the Lao official was received by Party's General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, during which the host reassured that the Vietnam-Laos relationship is an invaluable asset of the two parties and peoples, and an important resource serving the cause of construction and development in each country. Having heard the outcomes of the earlier talks between two party high-ranking delegations, the Vietnamese leader called on the two sides to coordinate with each other in realizing their party resolutions and development strategies of each nation. He emphasized the exchange of information and experience in party building and socio-economic management, along with bilateral coordination across fields and at multilateral forums, especially within the framework of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and separation cooperation mechanisms. In reply, Phan Kham Phan affirmed that the party, state and people of Laos will work together with Vietnam to preserve and foster the special solidarity between Vietnam and Laos, thus bringing interest to the two countries' people. He also promised joint efforts in implementing the Vietnam-Laos joint statement issued in April 2016 and other agreements reached by the two parties and states. Earlier on the same day, Phan Kham Phan held talks with Politburo member, permanent member of the party's Central Committee Secretariat, Dinh Thế Huynh. Vice President Đặng Thị Ngọc Thịnh also attended the event. The two sides agreed on measures to effectively the Vietnam-Laos joint statement and other agreements signed between two parties and states. Accordingly, they will increase the exchange of visits and meetings between party and state leaders and step up their affiliation in a range of fields. The same day, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc hosted a reception for the minister head of the Lao Government Office. Prime Minister Phúc stressed that the two sides need to increase the exchange of delegations at all levels. He affirmed that Vietnamese ministries, agencies and sectors are willing to share experience with their Lao counterparts. The government's leader said Vietnam and Laos should fully take advantage of funds provided by the international community to build transport infrastructure systems connecting the two countries. Prime Minister Phúc urged Laos to effectively use direct investments by foreign nations, including Vietnam, to enhance its business and production capacity so as to increase state revenues and improve the living conditions of local residents. For his part, Minister Pat Phong said the two government officers previously held talks discussing measures to step up the bilateral cooperation in the future. Now we move to other important news. The 50th session of the 13th National Assembly Standing Committee opened in Hanoi on July 11th with the aim of discussing preparations for the first session of the 14th Legislature scheduled to take place later this month. Speaking at the opening ceremony, National Assembly Chairwoman Nguyễn Thị Kim Ngân said that if nothing changes, this is the last meeting of the National Assembly Standing Committee in the 13th tenure. During a two-day event, deputies are expected to offer ideas on the government's reports on the implementation of socio-economic development as the budget tasks in the first 6 months of 2016 and measures for the remaining months. They will comment on the supervision program of the National Assembly and its Standing Committee for 2017, and on the Legislature's Law and Ordinance Building Program for 2017, and Law and Ordinance Adjustment Program in 2016. The deputies will also discuss the government structure, organization, and members in the 14th tenure of the National Assembly and its draft decree on several specific mechanisms on investment, finance, budget, and management decentralization for Da Nang City. A workshop to seek ways to develop tourism in the Mekong Delta region was held in Hậu Giang province on July 11th as part of the Mekong Delta Economic Cooperation Forum, which commenced in the locality the same day. The workshop was a chance for localities and enterprises to discuss new and effective measures and action programs to develop tourism. It also aims to intensify connectivity in the field between localities in the region and between those with other localities nationwide. Participants said that the region's tourism potential has yet to be tapped fully, although it holds a lot of potentials to develop tourism in comparison with other regions. They agreed that to increase the efficiency of the connectivity, localities, organizations, and enterprises should effectively implement a project to build the region's typical tourism products, issue preferential policies to attract investments in large-scale tourism development projects, and develop traditional trade villages. Last year, the region served over 25 million tourists, earning about $384 million in tourism revenue, of 19.4% in the number and 30% in revenue compared with 2014. The Vietnam Food Association has announced the country exported over 2.65 million tons of rice in the first 6 months of 2016, earning $1.14 billion. The figures represent a year-on-year decrease of 2% in volume but 1.1% increase in value. China remained the biggest importer of rice from Vietnam, accounting for 35% of the total volume. Meanwhile, Vietnam's rice exports to the Philippines and Malaysia dropped by 52% and 60% respectively due to the lack of big contracts. Of the export products, fragrant rice made up the largest proportion at 31%, thanks to the growing demand from Asian and African markets. For the second half of this year, the Vietnam Food Association forecast the rice market will continue to see challenges and fierce competition from other rice exporters. If there were no surge in the demand from traditional markets such as China, the Philippines and Indonesia, Vietnam would manage to ship abroad only 5.7 million tons of rice for the whole year, down 14% as compared to 2015. We have more news coming up next. Stay tuned. Over 10,000 apartments were sold in the second quarter of this year, mainly to foreigners who are permitted to buy up to 30% of the units in the project. Property consulting firm John Lang San Vietnam said there has been a strong increase in condo sales to foreigners in Ho Chi Minh City. Since the law was amended last July, foreigners have bought over 1,000 apartments in Ho Chi Minh City alone. The total number of units sold in 2015 was double that of 2014, thanks to growth in both demand and supply and support from banks for both developers and buyers. Major projects like Vinhomes Golden River, Vin's Home Central Park, the Nassim, and Estella Heights have all seen large purchases by foreign buyers. Some projects have been sold out 30% of their units to foreigners. Property developers reported a significant increase in the number of foreign clients visiting their projects. Novaland said, since the law was amended, it has seen a regular increase in buying by foreigners. According to developers, foreigners mostly want to buy luxury apartments with full, high-quality facilities in central areas. As many as 50 photos of the East Sea was displayed at the exhibition, which opened in Seoul, the Republic of Korea, on July 10th, within the framework of the second Vietnam Cultural Day in the country.
Addressing the event, President of the Vietnam-Korea Multicultural Families Association, Lee Min-kyung, said the exhibition aims to highlight Vietnam's marine sovereignty as well as China's illegal activities in the East Sea, thus giving visitors insights into developments in the waters. He stressed that the organizers hopes to join international efforts to call for an end to the illegal land reclamation in the East Sea and urge countries both in and outside the region to make a responsibility for maintaining peace, stability and maritime safety and protecting the ecological system in the sea. According to him, China's illegal construction of man-made islands and militarization in those waters are the root cause of tensions, adversely impacting peace, stability, and maritime safety in the region. The exhibits include photos affirming Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa Islands. Some others show China's activities to change the status quo, illegally build artificial islands, and step up the militarization on islands which it has illegally occupied in the East Sea. The East Sea photo exhibition is the seventh of its kind organized in the Republic of Korea so far.
The tourism sector in Phú Yên has begun to flourish in recent time, gradually becoming an economic pillar of the South Central Coastal Province.
The number of visitors to Phú Yên increased by an average 20% a year during 2011-2015. More than 580,000 tourists visited the province in the first half of this year, a year-on-year increase of 18.2%. A sudden surge of 200% year-on-year was seen in the number of visitors to the locality in the period from March to July this year. An upward trend in the number of international arrivals to Phú Yên has also been seen, with 28,000 foreign tourists choosing the province as their tourism destination in the first 6 months of this year, up 11.2% compared to last year. Phú Yên has more than 30 tourism projects with a total investment capital of nearly 51 trillion Vietnam dong, or $2.3 trillion, of which 8 projects have been partially put into operation. The province is home to 19 national historical sites and tourism attractions, including 6 among the best destinations in Vietnam, namely Cù Mông Pass, Đại Lãnh Lighthouse, Nha Tower, Xuân Đài Bay, Vũng Rô Bay, and Đá Đĩa Reef.
And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye for now.